Hey everybody, welcome to the CN Woodwork YouTube channel. This is a new channel for me, so I figured what better way to start it off than to give a shop tour. This is a very small shop. It's about 17 by 6, maybe not even quite 6. That's the front door. I guess maybe a tri-folding door. There's one door on that side, and then this is actually two doors because the fence is pretty close, so I have to be able to miss the fence to close the doors. Alright, so I have on this side, I guess I'll just go front to back. I've got a little work table over here. I think it's a general, I don't know what it is. It was something cheap at Harbor Freight on sale for like 15 bucks. But it works for what I need it for. Then I built these cabinets. Everything I build, well, 98% of the stuff I build is all salvaged, reclaimed material. Even most of the hardware is salvaged and reclaimed. So if stuff doesn't match, that's kind of the name of the game. So anyways, built this little rolling table for when I was in the garage, but it doesn't really need to roll in here since there's nowhere for it to go. And basically, these are just sliding on the wood. There's no tracks or anything on here. They're waxed up pretty good though. So in here, I've got a little mini pocket holder, Dremel tool, brad nailer, band clamp down there, second drawer up, jigsaw in this one, multi-tool in this one. Then I've got some 90-degree clamps, some feather boards in here, router base, just some other miscellaneous junk. I shouldn't say it's junk. Nothing's ever junk since I'm a guy who reclaims everything, and nothing's ever junk. It can all be used. Alright, got router bits in here. Miles Craft doweling jig, which I don't really like a whole lot. I don't use it very often, but I have it if I need it, I guess. And some drum sanding stuff. In this side is the junk drawer, which has all kinds of manner of, I think there's a few soldering irons in there, safety equipment. As you can see, it's a bunch of stuff. And I've got a few finishing things in here. I usually use these foam brushes whenever I finish, just because they're cheap and they seem to work pretty well. And then just some tape for if I'm painting something, or not tape, paper if I'm painting something and I need to mask something off. Then I've got this, which is one of my favorite things, which is the Loctite. It's the high performance. It's the medium bond, I think, is this one. Yeah, it's a middleweight. And just other glues. Some calipers, and then drill bits that I use for the drill press. And this comes out. And I've got chisels and knives and blades, and it's like some socket wrenches and carving knives back there in the black, or in the blue case, or just for carving, which I don't do a whole lot of, so I'm not very good at it. And then coming up, I've got a 16-inch Delta scroll saw, sandpaper's back there, tape is above that, and I've got a little Campbell Hausfeld air compressor and brad nailer. I think it's a nailer stapler. Then just the air tools, a couple extra tables for the drill press, and those are pieces for my combination square. And then I've got a Craftsman 8-inch drill press, and I do like you saw the tables. I switch out the tables on it depending on what I'm doing. And a little work light up there, and then I've got all of the small wood that I use, and some cherry, maple, walnut, I think there's some other stuff up here too. Then up a little further, I've got a little monitor, I think it's a 19-inch monitor that I stream from my phone. I stream music and video and watch YouTube and whatnot. And then just some speakers up here and a receiver, so I can run it. And then I've got a couple projects going on over here, and then project plans are usually posted there for whatever I'm working on. A little bit of organization for the screws and hardware and whatnot. Just kind of on a little cleated system. And I was originally going to run, well, I still am going to run electrical in here. I just haven't got to it yet. As you can see, I've got a couple conduit boxes that are done, but I only got to about there with the wire, so I've got to buy some more to put a couple more boxes in, and I haven't got to that yet. This is my main sander, DeWalt. Works pretty well, and I use that for just regular sanding, finish sanding, and whatnot. I've got a little 6-inch vise here with some plywood in there, and then I made a little hand wheel for it, because I hate the ones that go back and forth. They're just really annoying to me. Under here, got my case for my drill, which is a rigid 18 volt. Then I've got some electrical components. I work with LEDs a lot, doing some custom stuff, so I have all manner of LED lights and wires and whatever else. I've got my router, and this is a Blue Hawk router. I want to say it's a, well, I know it's a 1/4 inch. I want to say it's maybe a 1/3 horsepower, but I'm not 100% on that. I have another video on my other channel, which is Magic 365, MAJIK 365, and I do a full review and everything on this one. And then on the end here, it's just a paint tray and big bucket that had protein shake in it, and I've kind of just melded them together with some screws, and that catches a lot of the scraps. And then whenever I'm done routing, since I don't do a whole lot of routing, I can just use the bench brush and brush it off into there, and when it gets full I can dump it, and it's a lot more convenient. Then I've got a little bit sharpener down here that I use, and I've got the horrible shelf wall that I built with when all I had was a jigsaw and drill at that point, so it's not anything special. I've got bottles of cleaner and water and whatnot, some glue. Usually what I use is Type Bond, but I also do use Well Bond for a few things. Then just some paint sticks. Up here I've got some dry lube, rubbing alcohol, earplugs, then just some lubricants up there and a little bit of wood filler and some paint. And then just some other stuff, finishes. And this shed is not air conditioned at all, so I keep a temperature gauge up here. As you can see, it's 102.5 almost degrees Fahrenheit in here, so it gets pretty warm. I usually have a fan going just to keep the air circulation. I've got another protein shake thing, a couple of them actually, one for rubber gloves and one for rags. Up here I've got my tripod hanging. Then I've got my drills here. This is the rigid 18 volt. It's the older style, but I really like it. Definitely worth it if you get within that 90 days to fill out your warranty for a lifetime warranty with Rigid online. It's definitely worth it. They'll give you, parts, batteries, repair for life. So, and then I've just got a cheap. This drill only cost me like $10. Cheap Drill Master. I think it's another one from Harbor Freight. And then the charger, and then my scrap bin down here, which apparently needs to be dumped. And then underneath this table, I've got a shop vac, which I recently acquired. I used to have my chair under there, but since I've got the shop vac, that's a little more important. And everybody in the woodworking world talks about clamps. Well, that's the extent of my clamps. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then a couple little ones. So I need to get some more. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Then I keep water in here because at 102 degrees it's important to keep some real cold water. nearby. Then I have a little assembly table, and since I'm in such close quarters, this is about the area I have to work in. So this assembly table actually just flips right out. It's a little difficult to do with one hand. And then I've got some toggle clamps for drilling pocket holes or holding stuff down while I'm sanding or what have you. And this seems to work pretty well. And I might do videos on some of this stuff. Seems to work pretty well. And then I just lock it up there with a couple magnets on the top here, just to keep that leg from swinging out prematurely. Then over here I've got a clamp guide, usually for the jigsaw, since I don't use a circular saw much at all. Then I've got a hand planer, which I don't use at all because it's a little sketchy. It's an old one for sure. And then I've got toolboxes, got all manner of different screwdrivers, small hand tools that I don't use very often. They just sit up there. This is all shop vac stuff in here. I've got a couple storage boxes. These boxes have hardware, casters, hinges, all that good stuff in them. And then I've got a table saw. It's a Delta 36600. And I actually built a few different things on this. I might do a video on the table saw that I did a little, some custom stuff on. And if I come to the back of the shop, you can see how far I am from the table saw. So this is back to that table I showed you at first. So we're probably 12 feet maybe, if that, from the table saw to the back of the thing. So yeah, it gets a little cramped in here, but it works for what I'm using it for. Then I've got the lights I have in here. I've just got this little light on the end, and then I've got that light up there, which is just a couple T8 sockets. I've got lots of paint in there, more storage of just random junk, and some tarps in there. Come down here, I've got a little soldering station that I hang on the wall, a taper jig that I threw together for something I was working on, push block, push stick, and a guard for my table saw, which I never use because it's a pain in the ass, and miter gauge. And then I do have a miter saw. It's in the garage right now. Normally that actually hangs on that hook where the water is, but since it's not in here at the moment, I don't have to worry about it. Table saw sled, which is amazing. It's the best thing I built lately. Then got a level and a square and all the miscellaneous hand tools that I use on a regular basis. I've got a sanding box, which I'm going to use more now that I have a permanent shop vac. Just some shop vac stuff there. Always got to have safety equipment, writing utensils, since I seem to set down a pencil and it walks away. That's pretty much it for the inside of the shop. I've got wood storage that I built back here. There's this little wood shed, which has got all kinds of stuff, and like I said, it's all salvaged material for the most part. So it's a lot of kind of miscellaneous stuff. Just from I'm lucky enough that I live close to some cabinet shops and stuff, so I can go salvage when I want to salvage some stuff, or when I need something for a new project. It doesn't always yield the best results, but with salvaged wood, it's all experience and profit. So I can't complain too much. If I have to make something really, really nice, yeah, I'll go out and buy some wood, but normally I don't need to. And then I've also got this one, which is basically just against the back wall of the shed, with a tarp over it, and I've also got that, which has wood under there. That's pretty much all 3/4 plywood under there, cabinet grade plywood, and then this is 1/4 inch and a half cabinet grade plywood, and I'm sure there's some other sheets of some other stuff in there. And that's pretty much it for the shop tour. So I'll try to make videos as often as I can. Not sure how often that's going to be yet, but it's probably going to be me building a bunch of stuff and maybe doing some tool reviews and and just throwing some ideas out there. So yeah, hope you guys like the video. Go ahead and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.